Good day everyone. Now I will discuss the role of criminal procedure. So, Rule 110 is the prosecution of offense. Section 1, the institution of criminal actions. So, this section state that in offenses in outside Metro Manila that has more than 6 years and 1 day punishment should be required a preliminary investigation. Then, while if the offense punishment is less than 6 years and 1 day, the complaint or information should directly filed with the municipal trial court or municipal circuit trial court and the office of the prosecutor. For offenses in Metro Manila and other chartered city, the complaint or information should be filed office of the prosecutor. In the section 2 of Rule 110 state that the general requirements of complaint or information are first shall be in writing, second in the name of the people of the Philippines, and third is against all persons who appear to be responsible for the offense involved. So the section 3 of this rule define the complaint. So complaint is which is a sworn statement charging a person with an offense subscribed by the offended party or peace officer or other public officer charged with the enforcement of the law violated and filed in the prosecutor's office. Next is, while section 4 of this rule 110 define the information. So, information as an accusation in writing charging a person an offense subscribed by the prosecutor and filed with a court. So, according to section 5 of this rule 110, public prosecutor shall prosecute the criminal actions. So, that is the general rule, but it has exemption. So, the exemption where a private prosecutor can prosecute the criminal action when in case a heavy work, schedule of the work, public prosecutor, in the event lack of public prosecutor, but even though those circumstances are present, private prosecutor can prosecute the criminal action unless he or she has written authorization by the chief prosecution office and should have the approval of the court. So, second paragraph of this section state that the private crimes, adultery and concubinage shall be prosecuted only if the spouse will file the complaint or information, and in the third paragraph, the offenses of seduction, abduction, and lack of lasciviousness shall only prosecute if the complaint or information was filed by the offended party or parents, grandparents, or the state. So the offended party should exercise the right of filing successively. In section 6 to section 12, the rule 100 state that sufficiency of the complaint or information, which should state that the name of the accused, the designation of the offense given by the statute, act, or omissions, complaint of the institution the offense, then the name of the offended party, the approximate date of the commission or of the offense, and the place where the offense was committed. The general role of the duplicity of the offense in Section 13 or this rule is that one information is equal to one offenses. So exemption is when the law subscribe a single punishment for various offenses. Rule 111. Prosecution of civil action. According to Section 1 of this rule, when criminal action is instituted, the civil liability shall be deemed instituted. That is the general rule, but there is an exemption. First is when the offended party waives the civil action. Second, the offended party reserves the right to institute it separately. Always remember that reservation shall be made before the prosecution. So start presenting the its evidence. And third is institute the criminal action prior to the criminal action. But always remember that the primacy of criminal action over civil action. That even the civil action is instituted first, then the civil action shall be suspended until final judgment is rendered in the criminal action. So, in exchange, the situation when criminal action is instituted first, then the civil action. So, still, the civil action is suspended then until the final judgment is rendered to the criminal action. Next is Rule 112, the preliminary investigation. So, according to Section 1 of these rules, the preliminary investigation is an inquiry or proceeding to determine whether there is a probable cause that the crime has been committed, and preliminary investigation is required to be conducted before filing a complaint or information for an offense where the penalty subscribed by law at 6 years and 1 day imprisonment. The officer allowed to conduct preliminary investigation are provincial or city prosecutor under assistant, the national and regional state prosecutor, and other officers as may be authorized by law, such as the COMELEC and the Ombudsman. So next rule is 113. So arrest. So arrest is a taking of a person into a custody in order that he may be bound to answer for the omission of an offense. So arrest made by an actual restraint of a person to be arrested, or by his submission to the custody of the person making the arrest. It shall be the duty of the officer executing the warrant of arrest the accused and deliver him to the nearest police station or jail without necessary delay. So in Section 4, this rule, the warrant be executed within 10 days from its receipt. So within 10 days after the expiration of the period, the officer shall make a report to the judge. And in case of his failure to execute the warrant, he shall state that the reason. Section 5 of this rule, a peace officer or private officer allows to arrest a person without a warrant when the person to be arrested has is actually committing, or he is attempting to commit an offense, or in flagranto delicto, then have probable cause to believe an offense has been committed. It is a cat pursuit, and the prisoner who has escaped from a penal establishment, so escape prisoner, then how arrest may be made on any day and any time of the day or day. So Section 11, police officer must identify themselves and announce their purpose before using for the enter and apply first and break and announce the doctrine. So next is Rule 114 is bail. According to the section 1 of this rule, bail is a security given for the release of a person in custody of the law, so furnished by a ombudsman to guarantee his appearance before any court. So bail may be given in the form of corporate surety, property bond, cash deposit, or recognizance. According to Section 2 of this rule, all person having an offense can avail bail except those charged with offenses punishable by reclusion perpetua, reclusion, death penalty, and life imprisonment. According to Section 4 of this rule, bail is a matter of rights. Yes, when before and after conviction by municipal trial court, metropolitan trial court, and municipal circuit trial court, and before conviction by the regional trial court of an offense not punishable by life imprisonment or death penalty or reclusion perpetua. So while according to Section 5 of this rule, bail is a matter of discrimination when upon conviction by the regional trial court of an offense not punishable by life imprisonment, death penalty, or reclusion perpetua, or if it is evidence of his guilt or it is not strong. Rule 115, the rights of the accused. So, the accused in criminal prosecutions have several rights, so including the presumption of innocence, the right to be informed of the nature and cause of accusations, the right to be represented and defend themselves, the right to waive their present at the trial unless specifically ordered by the court. The accused can testify as a witness on their behalf. Then they can comfort and cross-examine witness against them. Dayon, and speedy, impartial, and public trial unless the accused can appeal in all cases allowed and in the manner prescribed by the law. Next is the Rule 116 is arraignment and plea. So according to paragraph A of Section 1 of this rule, the accused must be arraigned before the court where the complaint or information was required to design for trial. So arraignment shall be made in open court by the judge giving the accused with a copy of the complaint or information to reading it in the same dialect known by the accused and asking him whether the pleads guilty or not guilty, and the accused answered his plea. In paragraph B state that accused be present at the arraignment and must personally enter his plea. According to paragraph C of Section 1 of this rule, if the accused refuses to plead, a plea of not guilty shall be entered for him. Then in paragraph D, when the accused pleads guilty but present exculpatory evidence, his plea shall be deemed withdrawn and a plea of not guilty shall be entered for him. The next rule is a Rule 117. It's the motion to quash. or the request for dismissal. So, on the section 1 of this rule, the accused may move to quash the information or complaint any time before entering his plea. Then, the motion to quash shall be in writing, signed by the accused or his counsel, and shall distinctly specify its factual and legal grounds. According to the section 3 of this rule, there are only 9 grounds that the accused may move to quash or the complaint or information. First is the facts charged to do not constitute an offense. Second is the court trying the case has no jurisdiction over the person of the accused. That the court trying the case has no jurisdiction over the person of the accused. Then that the officer who filed the information has no authority to do so. That is, does not confirm substantially to the prescribed from duplicity of the offense, and the criminal action or criminal has been extinguished. That it contains avertment which, if true, would constitute a legal excuse or justify loss in double jeopardy. So, after entering the plea, the accused can self-file a motion to quash in grounds A, B, G, I, or grant 1 to 7 and 9. So, Rule 118 pre-trial. So, the Rule 118 pre-trial, according to the section 1 of this rule, so pre-trial is mandatory in criminal cases. So, is conducted to avoid surprises, and during the pre-trial, both parties will lay down evidence and witness, because failure to present the on pre-trial, it could not be amendment during the trial unless otherwise the reason for that is good cause. Then, and in case there is objection, it will be raised, and that is the reason why there is pre-trial. In pre-trial, will be plea bargaining, then stipulation of facts, marking for identification of evidence, waiver if objection to admission of the evidence, and modification of the order of trial if the accused admits and the charge. So, section 2 stipulated that all agreement or admission made or entered during pre-trial conference shall be reduced in writing, then and signed by the accused and counsel. Otherwise, they cannot be used against the accused. The non-appearance of accused and counsel, the court may impose proper sanction or penalties. Next is Rule 119, the trial. So, according to section 1 of this rule, the time to prepare trial is after a plea of not guilty is entered. The accused shall have 15 days to prepare for trial. Then, the trial shall commence within 30 days from the receipt of the pre-trial to order. Next is section 3, the period of delay shall be excluded in computing the time within delay resulting from other proceeding concern. That accused delay resulting from mental incompetence or physical inability of the accused to stand trial, and if the information is dismissed upon motion of the prosecution. On section 11, the ordered trial, which first the prosecution shall present evidence to prove the charge. Then the accused and the defense present tributal and sorbitol evidence. Then shall be deemed submitted for the decision. Then the section 17 is the discharge of accused to be state the witness. happens when there is no stronger direct evidence. The prosecutor will select one of the suspect to be a witness, but he or she should not appear to be the most guilty. Section 23, the demurrer evidence, it was after the prosecution rest in case the court may dismiss the action of the ground of the insufficiency of the evidence. Next rule is the 120, so judgment. In section 1 of this rule, so judgment is the adjudication by the court that the accused is guilty or not guilty of the offense charged and the imposition on him of the proper penalty and civil liability. The next is Rule 121, the new trial or reconsideration. So the section 1 of this rule, the time for new trial or reconsideration is any time before judgment or conviction becomes final or final. So in section 2 is the grounds for a new trial. So first is the errors of law, and second is the new and material evidence has been discovered. Rule 122 is the appeal. So in section 1 of this rule, so may appeal from the judgment or final judgment order unless the accused will be placed in jeopardy. So in section 2 is where to appeal. So when first level court of MTC appeal on RTC, when from RTC appeal on Court of Appeals, and when from Court Appeals in Supreme Court. So 123 is the procedure in the municipal trial court. So the Rule 114, the procedure in the Court of Appeals. Then 125 is the court procedure in Supreme Court. Then Rule 126 is the Ziz and Zizor. So in section 1, we find that the search warrant as on order in writing the name of the people of the Philippines, signed by the judge and direct to the peace officer, commanding him to search for personal property, describe therein and bring it before the court. Then the personal property to be seized according to the section 3 and subject of the offense embezzlement property unused or is intended to be used as means of committing an offense. So in section 7, a search warrant so shall not issue except upon probable cause in connection with one specific offense to determine personally by the judge. It should be found in section 4 of Rule 126 and section 7. Police officer must identify themselves and announce their purpose before using force to enter. Then apply first the break and announce doctrine. The warrant must be served the day unless the affidavit, the property is on the person or place. So in which case it can be served at any time. So that's all. Thank you.